Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. Today's program is called Casting Confirmation. This is a new video series I'll be doing where when creative talent is confirmed for a comic book source project, I'll do a video about it. Today's confirmation is about Ava Duvernay, who's going to be directing The New Gods for DC. Welcome to the program for my long-term subscribers and new members. Make sure you click on that bell for alerts. It will let you know when a new video is up, so let's get started. You probably have no idea who Ava is, and you have very little information about the New Gods at DC, so I'll be glad to explain both. First, let's start with Ava. She was born in Long Beach in 1972, and she attended the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, baby. Her first big breakout in film was in 2012 with the independent film Middle of Nowhere. It was a story of a nurse who's married to a guy who goes to jail and how she has to move on with her life after he goes to prison. She won the award for Best Direction in a Dramatic Film at the 2012 Sundance Film Festival. She was the first African-American woman to win this award, so it was a pretty big deal. So of course, Hollywood came running with more bags of cash for some pet projects she wanted to do. She got funding from Brad Pitt and his Plan B Entertainment production group and Oprah Winfrey, the owner of Harpo Entertainment. And that project turned out to be Selma. This was based on Martin Luther King's 1965 Montgomery voting rights marches. It made $66 million on just a $20 million budget. It made the top 10 list of virtually every critic that saw it. The critic Rotten Tomatoes score was 98% and the audience score was 86%. So it was a critical success and it made money. It was nominated for 4 Golden Globe Awards and won 1 for Best Original Song. It was nominated for 2 Oscars for Best Picture and won 1 for Best Original Song. But the fact that it got nominated by a virtually unknown director was tremendous. So she made money and had critical success with her first outing with a real budget. So of course she's going places. And get this, she was the first choice for Black Panther. Let me repeat that. Ava Duvernay was the first choice for Black Panther and she turned it down. She turned down Black Panther. She states it was over creative differences. I don't know, whatever happened, happened. So Marvel went with their second choice, which was Ryan Coogler, who was hot off of doing Creed. Of course, the lead in Creed was Michael B. Jordan, who has a very good relationship with Ryan Coogler, who asked him to play Killmonger, and the rest is history. So Black Panther would have been very different if Ava would have done it. We may not have gotten Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, so it definitely turned out for the best. Ava decided she was going to work closely with Oprah Winfrey, who starred in Selma and also produced it. And that project turned out to be Queen Sugar, a critically acclaimed television series on Oprah's own network. She also did a documentary called 13, which was about race, injustice, and mass incarceration in the United States. Her latest feature film was in 2018 with Disney's A Wrinkle in Time, which also co-stars Oprah Winfrey, of course. It made her the first Black woman to direct a movie with a budget of $100 million. It had an opening weekend of a very soft $33 million. It was projected more, but it got cannibalized by Black Panther, the movie she was supposed to direct in the first place. But to be fair, nobody saw Black Panther coming at this level. It's a cultural juggernaut, and anything in its wake is getting eaten alive. So Red Sparrow bombed, even though it stars Jennifer Lawrence, who's a huge star. Wrinkle in Time underperformed, but even Tomb Raider is going to get crushed. Hey, it's the Black Panther effect. Wakanda forever. Wrinkle will be fine. It's got a lot of foreign markets it's got to hit, so it'll make money. Let's discuss the relationship between Ava and Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, which she turned down. They're actually friends and they're on good terms, and they pull for each other. It was the first time in history that 2 Black directors had the #1 and 2 movie out at the same time. And they were both Disney movies, so the House of Mouse always wins. So in saying that, Ava's next project is going to be The New Gods for Warner Brothers Films. You probably have no idea what's going on. So the New Gods were created by Jack King Kirby. Of course it's Jack Kirby. Who else? Kirby is a comic god who's more than worthy of your worship. Anyone that does not bow at the feet of King Kirby, I shall smite thee. Jack Kirby left Marvel Comics in 1970 over numerous disagreements and decided to sign up with DC and brought some of his ideas to them, including the New Gods. The mythology of the New Gods works like this. There are 2 twin planets, New Genesis and Apocalypse. New Genesis is an abundant world of life and a utopia that's ran by a being called the High Father. And Apocalypse is a nightmarish dystopia that's ran by a being called Darkseid. If you're not familiar with the New Gods, you're at least familiar with Darkseid. Let's clear something up too for the uninitiated. Some people think that Darkseid is a copy of Thanos from Marvel. Their design looks very similar, of course, but Thanos has a very higher profile at the moment because Marvel is winning at the movies and DC is not. So Darkseid makes his first appearance in DC Comics in 1970. Thanos didn't show up until 1973 in Marvel Comics in Iron Man number 55, which is also the first appearance of Drax the Destroyer. It was written by a young writer by the name of Jim Starlin, who admits that he got a lot of inspiration from Jack Kirby, and of course, Thanos is highly influenced by Darkseid. The New Gods is also known as Kirby's fourth world universe, and things can get real weird and real complicated real quick. The thing you need to know about the battle between New Genesis and Apocalypse is think of the United States versus Russia during the Cold War. So the New Gods allows DC to get to their cosmic elements and all this crazy weird stuff, which fanboys like myself will just nerd out to and have to explain to the uninitiated. That's why this channel exists in the first place, to explain all this stuff. To get to its cosmic universe, Marvel is using the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're handcuffed a little bit because they can't use characters like the Silver Surfer and Galactus, which belongs to Fox. At least for right now. Fox may be getting bought by Disney. See a link in the description for details about that. But DC has the rights to their full cosmic universe with no handcuffs. Now, of course, Darkseid, which is one of the best villains of all time in comics. Batman vs. Superman gave us a huge Easter egg for Darkseid with his Omega Beam symbol from that crazy weird dream revelation that Batman had. But Justice League turned out to be such a dumpster fire that we're not going to get the Darkseid the way we want to through the Justice League. The key issues you want to get for the New Gods universe are Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134, which has a cameo of Darkseid from 1970. The Forever People number 1, which is the first full appearance of Darkseid from 1971. The New Gods number 1, which is the first full appearance of the High Father, also from 1971. Mr. Miracle, a being from New Genesis, makes his first appearance in Mr. Miracle number 1 from 1971. And Big Barda, a being from Apocalypse, she made her first appearance in Mr. Miracle number 4 from 1971, and she's a cult favorite, especially when you see her cosplayed. It's just miraculous. You see that lady on the right who's looking at that cosplayer? It's just funny, isn't it? There's many other key issues out there, but I would start with those if you're going to get the New Gods universe. The Darkseid books are already expensive, especially the Jimmy Olsen book. That's a title that wasn't selling a lot of copies at the time, so it's very rare to find. And when you do, it's going to cost you a boatload of money. Now that we have all that background information out the way, is this a good fit for Ava to be directing the New Gods? And I would say no, but not for the reasons that people on social media are saying. Unfortunately, there's more toxic fuel of all this bull about SJW, social justice warriors, about she's only going to get this opportunity because she's a woman and she's African American, and there's all this backlash against that. So first of all, if you believe that nonsense, you can unsubscribe from my channel right now, because we're not going to have gender bias, racial bias, or any other bias. This is going to be about merit. Can someone get it done or not? There's people out there that's bashing Ava about the underperformance of Wrinkle in Time, and they have no idea about her previous work. So please shut up and do your research before you start bitching about stuff which you don't know what you're talking about. For the anti-diversity crowd, let me remind you, DC has had 5 movies and 4 of them have not performed well. Only 1 has been a success, and that was directed by a woman. Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman. DC's only true hit out of 5 tries. All the gods have failed. Zack Snyder with Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. Suicide Squad with David Ayer. And of course Justice League with Joss Whedon helping out. All of them failed. The only one that succeeded was Patty Jenkins, a female. I apologize for getting heated, but I'm tired of all this anti-diversity crap. I'm going to do a rant video about that particular topic in the near future, so watch out for that. So in saying that, my advice to Ava before she signed on was to say no to the New Gods. The decision makers at Warner Brothers do not have their act together. They lie, they meddle in creative decisions, and all types of chaos. So she should have said no, but I imagine they probably came to her with one of those big, huge checks that you get when you win the lottery. So big that you just can't say no. And after passing on Black Panther, she probably doesn't want to get caught empty-handed again in terms of this comic book thing. but New Gods is risky because no one really knows the characters other than Darkseid. And it's going to take place in space, so you're going to need a budget of about $250 million to make this look right. So to make money, you really have to make like 800 million or more worldwide to make it worth your while. So what's the draw? You're going to send Superman up there to fight Darkseid or something? That character is supremely damaged right now. And so is the whole Justice League except for Wonder Woman. When Marvel did the first Guardians of the Galaxy, it was their 10th movie. So they were playing with house money at that point. And they needed a vehicle to get to their cosmic universe since they didn't have the rights to their Fantastic Four. So if it would have failed, which it didn't, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But DC has only done 5 films to this point, and they can't get their Earthbound characters right. How are they going to do something in space correctly? That doesn't make any sense. So in saying that, if I would have had Ava's ear, I would have told her to hold out for another Marvel project. There's still other characters they haven't gotten to. For example, Namor the Submariner, or Nova, or Moon Knight, or bringing back Blade and letting Wesley Snipes reprise his role. Or let's say a Kamala Khan television show after Captain Marvel was introduced. You can't do Kamala until Captain Marvel comes out, of course, because she's inspired by Captain Marvel. The Captain Marvel movie drops in 2019, by the way. But what about the Ultimates 2, the current continuity that Marvel is doing with Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Blue Marvel, Spectrum, and America Chavez? This could be a splinter team off of the new Avengers that get established after the Infinity War movies, but we're talking like 2020 or later. So that's what I would have done if I was her. Now, before we close, let's get a little nerdy. Let's look at Apocalypse again. Doesn't this look a lot like the Death Star? But the New Gods predate Star Wars, so George Lucas was stealing from Jack Kirby. But seriously, isn't everybody in science fiction lifting something from Kirby? Just saying. Okay, back to our original point. Do you think that Ava is a good fit for the New Gods? Do you think DC should be doing the New Gods in the first place? Are you tired of all these people saying this SJW crap like I am? Do you think that DC should just give up and do a full reboot like I do? Please feel free to speak up in the comment section and let's have a passionate but respectful conversation with each other about these topics. If we disagree, there's no reason to get into personal attacks, okay? As always, be sure to subscribe, give the thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others can learn about the channel. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net. and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. Thank you for watching Casting Confirmation from Comic Power. This is Comic Killer 72 signing out and saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.